Welcome to the channel. I'm Billy D, and this is, of course, Done Different. And today, the first day of 2025, I'm going to go through and talk about all of the vehicles and projects that I have and what my plans are for 2025, or as a lot of car YouTubers call it, a fleet update. So the first one I'm going to talk about, I'm standing in my 1984, 85, 86, I don't remember the year, but mid-80s Chevy G30 powered Shasta 24-foot long RV. I had grand plans for this to rip it out, start over, and I quickly found out that the price to do that was going to be in the tens of thousands. Even if I did it on the cheap, it was still going to be thousands of dollars. So I have come to the conclusion now, after owning it for 2 years and it just sitting here and basically becoming a storage unit, that I'm going to sell it. But first, here in January, maybe February, I'm going to rip out all of the stuff, the old fridge, the electrical wiring, the kitchen, the stove. Keep maybe the stove, but scrap everything else. Basically completely rip this thing out, get it gutted, get the alternator issue fixed, which you guys can see in 2 or 3 videos ago. Tried to swap the alternator out and had a spacing issue on the pulley, so I will get that fixed, this gutted, and then I'm going to put this thing up for sale and get rid of it, get it out of my hair. So this one is going bye-bye early in 2025. So I'm not really going in any particular order here, except for like how they're parked in my yard. But the next one is also going away soon. It's my 98 Saturn SL2 that I locked the motor up in, which I have, again, recently covered here on the channel. This one, I am probably going to post on Marketplace to try to get rid of it for like 200, 250 bucks maybe, and see if somebody wants to buy it for parts. It does have the 5-speed transmission, that's good, so somebody might want that. But if I can't get it sold in a reasonable amount of time, then it's going to the scrapper. Exact same story with the 2007 Chevy Uplander. I'm going to post this one for parts. It runs, it drives, it just has a ton of stuff that needs to be done to it. I mean, a ton of stuff. To get it completely sorted would cost more than the vehicle is worth. So if I can sell it for parts, great. If not, off to the scrapper with this. From the 3 that we're getting rid of because they're junk, to the one that I'm getting rid of because it's not junk. This 2007 Honda CR-V that I got at the 2023 key swap is actually in really great condition. The only reason I haven't been driving it is because it needs an alternator, and I simply don't want to try to tackle doing an alternator on this car because it's a pain in the butt and there's not a lot of room. I talked to my local shop that I have work done at, tire stuff done, all sorts of stuff that I don't want to do or don't have the ability to do. I talked to them, and if I buy a alternator for it and bring it to them, the labor's only like 200 bucks. So that's my plan for this. Take that in, get the alternator swapped, clean it up, do maybe a little bit of paint restoration, nothing major, do a full detail on it, post it on Marketplace, and try to sell this so I can use that to fund the projects that I'm planning on purchasing and my projects I'm about to get to that I already have. So that I should be able to get a good chunk of change compared to everything else I own, and that will again help fund my projects. The next one, good old reliable 1994 Chevy Cheyenne work truck, 3/4 ton, 2-wheel drive, 350, absolute base of the base. Love this truck. Don't have any major issues with it at the moment. I do have a new set of hubs for the front and rotors that I need to swap out. I don't know when I'll get to that. Probably sometime this spring, but that needs to be done. I have those, so that's going to be done. I need to do a little bit of electrical work and get the dome light working and a few other small things. And then, of course, I need to finish painting. I need to finish prepping for paint. And then I want to paint it. I know this is boring, and white is my least favorite color on cars. In fact, I absolutely hate it. And if I had a choice, I wouldn't own any white cars. But to do this in a different color and it look right, I would have to do the door jambs and everything. But if I keep this the same white, I can completely do all of the panels that need to be done and not have to worry about the door jambs and stuff like that, and it still match up right. So I will probably keep this white, maybe do some cooler wheels or paint these, rhino line the bed, and fix the tailgate latch. You know, the normal stuff that is always wrong with these GMT 400s, and continue to use it as my normal work truck that I use for taking scrap and, you know, anytime I need to take a load or haul a trailer or anything. So this one isn't going anywhere. I love this truck, and it's gonna stick around as long as she runs. I might as well cover everything I have. This trailer, which I haven't really talked about at all on the channel, this is my utility / car hauler. It's 16 feet long. The deck is 16 feet long. It hauls pretty much all the cars I have will fit on this. Except maybe the truck and obviously not the RV. But this, I use to haul cars, I use to haul scrap. I use it constantly, and it is in rough shape. So I need to replace the decking, sand down or scuff up the entire frame, repaint it, completely redo the wiring, get a better winch, replace that because that is going out, the tongue jack, and just completely redo this trailer. Literally spend like $1,500 and completely redo this trailer. The tires are good, but everything else needs to be completely redone. And I think I need to rehook the trailer brake up on it as well. But I do plan on very soon going through and completely redoing this trailer, and not only to have a nicer trailer, but I plan on renting this trailer and my other utility trailer back there, the 10-footer. I'm going to also do a restoration on it. And my plan is to rent these out and maybe create a little more side income from the rental of these trailers. The go-kart. It's been on the channel a little bit, but not a ton, and it's been a couple of years. This thing, I need to redo the steering because the steering freaking sucks. It bump steers horrible. The motor, I don't know that it's good anymore. I broke the pull string off when I was trying to get it started one time, and I was already having issues getting it started. So it's a cheap $100 Harbor Freight Predator 212. So I might buy something bigger. I might stick a motorcycle engine, who knows. I definitely plan on working on this. I want this to be done by the Kansas Gambler, which happens in April. I want that ready to go so I can take it to the Gambler. But definitely plan on working on this soon. Again, you know, all of this stuff can't be done without a pretty substantial budget. I mean, there's small budget per one, $1,500 here, probably $1,000 into this one here, but it all adds up throughout the rest of the projects. Oh, and by the way, all this clutter here, this is where I disassemble everything for scrapping. And so this is just the staging area before I disassemble everything and toss it on the trailer to take it to get scrapped. Already talked about that trailer, getting it completely restored and ready to rent. My mower, she works great. Have no issues there, and we'll continue to mow along with it until it dies. 1978 Chevy Malibu Classic. I am constantly getting offers for this and people wanting to buy this car. You can't have it. This was my first car. It's always been in the family. It was originally owned by my grandmother. She gave it to me when it had like 20,000 miles on it. It now has less than 40,000 miles on it, and it's been sitting for over 20 years. I have talked about for years getting this inside and starting a complete resto mod, nut and bolt, completely stripped down to the frame, redoing this car to give it more power and to make it safer and a little more controllable, because as you guys know, these there's a thing called the G-body shuffle, and yeah. So my whole plan is, look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about, but my plan is to get this as a, completely resto modded, as a more modern car. I would like to do like maybe a Gen 5 or Gen 6 Camaro SS swap, like everything, like completely swap the interior, the motor, the drivetrain, the suspension, completely swap it with something like that. That has that's definitely at the top of my list for what I want to do with it, but that's a huge cost. So unless my YouTube channel takes off or something else happens that I get a large sum of money, that isn't going to happen for a while. So I would like to get this inside. My plan is to have this inside before summer hits, in either my shop in El Reno or the shop here at the house. Get this inside and go through and just get it running again. Like, it ran when we parked it here. So these old carbureted 305s, with enough going through, swapping out the gas and all the fluids and everything, it should crank over and run. So that's the plan with this, is to get it running as is and then kind of slowly start doing things to it until I get to the point to where it just needs to be completely stripped apart and, start the large project that this will be, with the many thousands of hours of getting it to where I want it. But that is the plan eventually. Hopefully get it inside this year and get it running again. Now, the next car here is the 2007 Chrysler Town & Country. In the last video, I went through a complete detailed list of everything that was wrong with this and everything that I'm going to do to it this year. One thing that I will add that I didn't say in that video is that the plan with this now, since I made that video, is I think I'm going to keep this as a family car until we can get another GMT 800 Suburban with lower mileage, and use that as the family hauler, and also to be able to haul the trailers and whatnot when I need it, take it to gamblers and everything. So I'm going to try to get another GMT 800 Suburban, maybe a 400, just depending on what kind of deal and low mileage Suburbans I can find out there. Definitely nothing newer than 2006. I might even go square body if I can find a nice one. I love square body Suburbans. Had one growing up. I'd love to have another one again, but I don't want the headache of a project. So if I find something for a decent price that's not a project, I'm going to get that Suburban and replace the minivan with that. Hopefully get that done this year. And then one of my favorite cars, my 98 Chevy Metro. This I have a lot of plans for, and once we get the other cars scrapped and sold that are going, this is going to get the attention first. I'm going to work on this before I do anything else. Bigger, even bigger tires than what are on it now. Bigger tires, roof rack, finish out the back bumper, winch, finish the front, get a new hood, get better headlights, probably replace the windshield, different mirrors, figure out what the heck is going on with the running problem, which you guys will find out more about here in this video. We're going to drive this to El Reno and go look at the vehicles and stuff that I have up there as well. So on the way, we'll take a little bit of footage and we'll see if this will do what it's been doing. I've got this issue where it will run great and do 80 miles an hour or more and get up on the highway and you're good to go. And then sometimes it just doesn't perform. Like, it's like it's lacking power, and it can be so bad that it won't go uphill at all, or it'll barely go 30 miles an hour or 20 miles an hour. And then one thing I found, if I turn the car off for a few seconds, turn it back on, it's better. And then eventually it happens again, and then you have to turn it off. And I actually did this on the trip coming back from the Wichita Wildlife Refuge that the car was doing it to me then, and it was horrible. It was kind of scary, and I kept it on the back roads the whole time. So that's I didn't end up being in a precarious situation on the turnpike. So we need to figure that problem out. And again, we will drive this today and see if we can get it to do it so I can catch it on camera of what it's doing. But yeah, that's the plans. Lots of plans with this. Got to get that fixed first and then do all the other aesthetics and make this my ultimate gambler ride. And I think, is that it for, oh no, we have one that's inside. That's completely covered. That's everything that's out here that's worth talking about. Well, all the cars and stuff I have. And then we have, under all that crap, which I do plan on cleaning this all out so I can get to this, is my 91 S10 chop top flatbed pickup. My plan with the S10, I really don't know right now. It's actually probably worth more to me just sitting there and not doing anything with it than it is to sell it, because it's not really worth a lot to sell. I want to eventually try to figure out what the problem is with it. I think I need to set the timing on it. I think when I did that video, which is wildly popular, considering that I didn't fix it, it just blows my mind how popular it is. I think it's like my third most watched video. Anyway, when I replaced the distributor on it, I think I got the timing wrong, and that's why it won't run. So I do eventually want to go through that and set the timing and see if I can get it running again. If I can get it running again, then I absolutely am going to start driving it and build it and take it to a gambler. If I can't get it running again, I'm going to keep that aluminum bed and I'm going to scrap or sell the S10 for parts. But again, I don't know when I'm going to get to that. Hopefully I get to that this spring, but as you guys see, I have a ton of other projects that I want to get to first, and another couple of projects in El Reno we haven't even talked about yet. All right, let's go ahead and hop in the Metro, drive out to El Reno, and check out the projects I have there and what I have planned for them in 2025. Ugh, you hear that? It's weird. It's intermittent. If I slow down and come to a stop, sometimes it starts up. Sometimes while it's going, the squeak, if I come to a stop, it goes away. It's really strange. Like, it sounds like a belt squeak, but I think it may be a pulley, or maybe it's the air conditioning compressor or something else. So you hear that? I slowed down enough. Now I'm back on the gas. No sound. And it's not directly correlated to the power issue, but I definitely noticed that when it's squeaking that I have a power issue. And I'm wondering now if maybe the AC compressor clutch is going out. That's not hooked up to anything, and I was thinking about deleting it anyway. So that's a possibility. Maybe one of the pulleys is going out. I don't know. I need to pull the serpentine belt off and check and see if any of those pulleys or accessories that are driven by the belts are, you know, bad or seizing up or rocking back and forth or whatever. So that's definitely something I plan on doing with this car, is checking that. And I don't know, maybe that will fix my power problem. I doubt it. Again, it's really strange what it does. Like, it's been okay so far today. It's been a little bit of laggy in first gear, but once you get up to about 15, 20 miles an hour, it does what it's supposed to, which is also strange that when you're at higher speeds, it doesn't seem to affect it unless you're at higher speeds for a long period of time. And I also seem to notice that when I have a full tank of gas, or the first 100 miles of that tank anyway, it doesn't seem to do it. So I'm wondering if maybe there's a bunch of sediment in the tank from when I cleaned it out before. Maybe I didn't get it all cleaned out, and when the fuel level goes down, that sediment is more concentrated and clogging up the pre-filter that's on the fuel pump. I don't know. It could be 100 different things. It could be the fact that one thing Gage pointed out was that the ground being disconnected from the throttle body. See? There it goes again. And it'll squeak. Accidentally turn the hazards on. It'll squeak and just squeak and squeak as I'm at speed, and I don't think it will stop. So I'm gonna have to come to a stop up here to get it to stop. But the thing that Gage was saying was that from it not having its ground, it's going to find a ground. Because it was running, it's going to force a ground somewhere. And it's possible it forced a ground through the ECU. And if that's the case, then I'm gonna have to get a new ECU or a rebuilt one, because they don't make them new anymore, to replace, and hopefully that would fix the problem. But I don't want to throw a ton of parts at this car. I've already thrown a ton of parts at this car. The parts cannon approach fixed some of it, but not all of it. So I need to get the OBD port working. In case you didn't know, it doesn't work. It's run on the same fuse. Look at that. It went out after driving at a higher speed for a little bit. Get it up to the speed limit now. But the dome light and the OBD port are on the same fuse, and neither one of them work. I checked the fuse, it looked fine, I replaced it with the new one. Still not working. So I'm gonna have to, the first thing that I'm really gonna do is I'm gonna pull the fuse panel down. It's under the dash, it's a pain in the ass to get to. I'm gonna unbolt it, pull it down, and check the leads that go in, all of them, but specifically the ones that go to the fuse for the OBD port and the dome light. And if I can get that connection working again, then I can scan it and figure out what the codes are and have a much better idea of what's going wrong with the car and how I can fix it. Boy, the cops are out in force today. It's New Year's Eve, if you guys didn't know. I'll be posting this on New Year's Day, but it's New Year's Eve and there are popos all over the place, and it's early in the day. It's not like it's tonight or anything, so I'm not exactly sure what they're looking for today, or if they're just starting their shifts early and writing tickets left and right. So I'm gonna be doing the speed limit the whole way there. All right, I think that's it for this car. Let's go ahead and move on to the shop. Oh, my Blazer. Man, I love this truck. All right, let's get the lights on, then we'll talk about that. Actually, let's get the lights on. And let's talk about what's back here first. So, my 82 Suzuki GS750. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I think I could get it fixed and running easily. There's a long story behind this, but it needs to have ignition coil packs installed, which I have for it. And then I need to chase every ground on this because I think that's actually the real problem with this is the grounds. Need to go through and get that working again. This is a freaking amazing bike. I absolutely love this bike. And I would like to get it back on the road. No plans on selling it really ever. Or instead of getting it back on the road, I could get it running and pull the motor and put it in the go-kart or something else. Probably not though. I'd probably buy a whole dedicated motorcycle just to swap into the go-kart if I did that. Anyway, jet skis. It's been almost 2 years since I bought these from John Ross of Watch JR Go. And I've done nothing with them. They have sat here and collected dust. I need to go through and get them, make sure they're still running and everything, and sell them. That's the plan. Sell these, and if I want jet skis, I'm going to get something nicer, newer, maybe one nice one instead of two old ones. But for now, I just want to get these, make sure they're working, and then sell them. If you're interested in anything that I say I'm going to sell or scrap, leave a comment, reach out to me. The Facebook page, Done Different, you can send me a message, or I don't check the messages there, but you can comment on a post there and I'll definitely see that. You can also message me on Instagram. Again, I don't check those very often, but you could also make a comment on my Instagram post. The link to those will be in the description below. They're Done Different, easy to find. But let's go ahead and move on to the Blazer ZR2. So I have two cars that are forever cars. The Malibu, which was my first car and again owned by my grandmother, and then my 2000 Blazer ZR2. I bought this, it was basically new. It was a lease vehicle, it had only 6,000 miles on it, and I bought it, and I have had it ever since, and I freaking love this vehicle. This is the most underrated stock off-road vehicle you can get, especially for the price you can get these at. You can get these for, you know, one that needs work for 500 bucks, 1,000 bucks. One that's in good condition for around 2,000 to 3,000. One that's in really good condition for less than 10. So this is my baby. And my plan is to go through and completely, not completely rebuild it, but pretty damn close. As you can tell, it needs a new headlight. I probably will get a whole replacement grill and all this. This is all parts that I had the front end rebuilt at a body shop, and they used cheap, crappy parts. You can see the wave in this here. You can see the cracking. I mean, nothing on this was damaged from me. This is all just from it being a crappy part instead of the OEM stuff. So I need to find a regular Blazer or S10 grill will work just fine. They're not specific to the ZR2. The only specific parts of the ZR2 are going to be these bumperette things, the fender flares. The suspension is wider and taller than on the stock versions. 31-inch tires, of course. It's got carbon fiber skid plates under it. But for the ZR2 package, as far as it's concerned, the only like aesthetics of it that I couldn't get off of a normal S10 or Blazer would be like the fender flares and the bumperette things here. Those are all specific. So I need to go through, there's some dents and dings I need to fix. There's quite a bit of stuff I need to fix on the body. Of course, it does run and drive. I'm not going to start it right now. I don't think I even brought the keys with me. The big issue is the transmission's going out. So my plan is to get the transmission, have a solution for the transmission. I don't know that I want to replace it because I'm thinking about doing a full drivetrain swap, maybe a small block or an LS motor. The LS swaps on these have become easier and easier over the years. They're still not easy, but they're way easier than they used to be. You can grab a full kit that has all of the parts and everything you need to swap one over. So that's a possibility, but I need to get it going the way that it is first. All the suspension is shot. It's soft as crap and blown out. So I need to replace the suspension at least, transmission at least. The body, you know, the issues with that and everything. The back glass has been busted out. That's why it's stored out here and not outside. That needs to be replaced. Several different, you know, small odds and ends, but the main issues are going to be the suspension, the transmission, and probably an intake gasket at the very least. But if I do that, I'm gonna go through and just kind of replace all of the parts that, oh, the four-wheel drive doesn't work either. I don't know if that has to do with the transfer case of the transmission. I think it's the vacuum lines are brittle or clogged, so those will have to be replaced. Basically, the reason this has been sitting for so many years, even though it runs, is because it's going to take several $1,000s to go through and make this the way that I want it. This is not gonna be one of my hoopty gambler pieces of crap. This is gonna be top-notch, the best vehicle I own, because it is really the one with almost the most amount of sentimental value. So this guy, this girl, her name's Tabby, by the way, definitely gonna get Tabby up and running and going. My goal is to have this ready, if not by Carnado, probably not by Carnado, but definitely by the Kansas Gambler in April. And then I want to take this all the way through gambling season this spring and summer, and basically using it as like a search and rescue vehicle for the gambler community. This thing is so capable off-road that when it's working right and the suspension's right and everything, nothing can stop it. There are not a lot of stock off-road vehicles that perform like this does, and is the reason why this was my dream car as a teenager and why I picked one up and financed it when I was 21. One of the only cars, one of two cars that I've ever financed because I wanted it that bad. Love this car, love this Blazer, love the ZR2. So definitely gonna put some love to this. So let's go ahead and do a quick recap of what I plan on doing over the next few months. First, very first thing, get the CRV fixed, cleaned up, and sold. Use that money and get the other cars scrapped like the Saturn and the minivan, and get rid of the RV. Get all that stuff sold. That's the very first priority, is to get those things sold. Use that money to fund other projects. The Blazer is up. The Metro will probably be first. Once it's done, then we move on to the Blazer. And then after the Blazer, I want to get the van, the new Town and Country, new to me, Town and Country, get it fixed up. Then maybe sell the Town and Country, get a Suburban, or maybe wait until later in the year. But definitely the Metro, the Blazer, the van, those are going to be the priorities here at the beginning of 2025. All right, you guys, I want to thank you so much for watching this video and bearing with me and going through my fleet. If you enjoyed this video, if you have questions about anything, you have suggestions on what I should do with some of the vehicles or one of the vehicles or whatever, let me know. Put them in the comments below. Let me know what you think would be cool. You know, what can I do to the Metro to make it better than what I already explained? What can I do to the Blazer to make it better? The Malibu. Let me know in the comments below what you think of those projects and what I should do, and then what I should buy, because I'm definitely buying something else besides just a Suburban to work on this year and make awesome. You know, whether it be a gambler or maybe a real race car. Let me know in the comments below what you think, guys. Again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Billy D, Car Fleet Updating, on out of here. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.